Hello everyone, my name is Jitendra Bafna. In today's video, we are going to see a MuleSoft Composer Part 2. In previous video, we have seen how to do integration between Salesforce and the Slack. And in this video, we will see how we can create a invokable flow in the MuleSoft Composer. Okay, so what we will do, we will create an invokable flow. So that invokable flow will give you a HTTP endpoint, and I want to post a account detail to that particular HTTP endpoint, and that once we post the detail to HTTP endpoint, it should create a account, or it should add that account details into the Salesforce account object, and finally it should give the response back to the client saying that this is my account ID and the output or status is successful, right? So let's start with creating a new flow. I will click on create new flow, create flow from scratch. It's a very simple use case. I will just use invoke. The first thing I can use the invoke. So invoke, once you use the invoke as a trigger, so once you deploy it, it will provide the HTTP endpoint and the credentials which we need to use to invoke this particular endpoint. Now we need to define fields. So how your input message will look like, right? So I can just say name. I want one field called name. I can give a sample value of name, test account. You can select a data type, string, whatever. In my case, it's a string only. You can have other data types also. Then I want phone numbers. Then I can give a sample value of 00000. Then I want a site, and I can just say www.demoexample.com, right? Just apply it. Okay, let me open it again. So here you can see it automatically generate the JSON. In case if you have a complex JSON, like you have a 50, 40 fields, and you don't want to define the fields here, you can directly copy paste the JSON message here. And this composer will automatically parse those fields. Okay, so you can provide that. Let me correct this. Apply. So we have done with our first step. We have configured the invocable trigger. Now we have to configure a Salesforce connector because we have to create a account record in the Salesforce object. So I will use the system action. I can just say Salesforce, and I have an existing connection. If you want to create a new connection, you can do that. I have an existing connection. I'm going to use that. In my previous video, I have already shown how to create a Salesforce connection using for the Salesforce connector. Okay. Now action. What is the action I need to define? Create a new record. And on what account, on what object? Account object, right? Now I have to do the field mapping. So account name is the field coming from the Salesforce, right? And I have to map with a name field from the previous step, right? Select field. Now I want to also map phone and the site, correct? So account phone, then I have to map with a phone from the previous step, a site from the previous step, right? So I've done the mapping. Now I have to define the output. So because I want to send account ID and the status back to my client, so I will just say add output field, and I will say account ID. I will want one more output field, that is status. Just say apply. Okay, and now you can provide the account ID. So what will be the account ID? How you can get the account ID? So in previous step, the previous step output will give you a account ID. So here you click here, so it will going to display action create record in the Salesforce. So it is giving the ID. So map that particular ID, and status I will just hardcode as a success. Right. So we have done with this particular flow. Now last thing, we have to rename the flow. I will say Salesforce account invokable flow. Just apply it, save it. Just don't forget to save it, right? If something goes wrong, right, you will lose all your changes. Now let me open the Postman. Okay, I will give this as I will open a new request. This will be the post method, right? So we will not do anything. First we will test it. So you need to provide some value while testing it. I will say 1, and I can say 1 1 1, I will say demo example1.com. So test flow. If you see, I don't have any records with anything with test, right? So once the testing will be completed, you will see some record. Then we will going to activate it. Once we activate it will give me the endpoint which you can use to invoke this particular flow. So it is doing some kind of testing. The test has been finished. Let's see if account created here or not. So let me search with test. So here you can see test account 1 is created, right? Correct. So this is, so our test is successful. So let me now I find my test is successful, so I can activate it. Activate it takes some time because it create endpoint for you, and it also provide the credential, and it has to deploy the flow. So it takes some time. So let's wait till it's getting deployed. So it's easy, right? It's how simply we have created this MuleSoft Composer Flow, right? It's very simple, correct? And like the mapping is also very simple, correct? And let's wait till it's getting activated. Till what I will do, I will start creating a body, okay, raw JSON, and I want a three field in my body, which is name. I can say test account 2. Then I want phone. I can just say plus 1000100. Then I want the site. Inside I can say www.muledemo.com. Okay, this is just a demo site. Okay, so I've just created that. I'm just waiting for my endpoint. I got that. So here you can see it has been successfully activated. So once it is activated, you can click on this flow credentials. So this is the URL. You get this URL, copy this URL, go to the Postman and just paste this. Now you have to configure the credential. For configuring the credential, you can go to authorization, just say basic auth, and it provide a client ID and a client secret. You can pass that as a username. Client ID can be passed as a username and client secret can be passed as a password. Okay, let me go back, copy client secret, paste it here. Okay, next thing, go back to here. It also generate the open API specification. So you can see this also. This automatically generate OS definitions for you. And let me go back to my flow. I'll click here. Okay, so that's fine. So let me send my request. So I get the account ID back. Okay, and status is successful. I will go to my Salesforce flow, or I will go to Salesforce, and let me refresh this. See if test account 2 is created or not. I will just search with test. So you can see the test account 2 is created. The other way, like you get the account ID, you can put that account ID here and search the result. So here you can see, you get this test account 2, a phone number, everything is good, like, yeah. So this is how easily you can create the invocable flow in the minutes, right? I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please hit on like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.